because they use that term, folks, queer. That's the way they describe themselves. But GLAAD in particular, the Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation, they really pressured A&E to drop Duck Dynasty.
Sure.
Or at least drop Phil Robertson, the dad in the show, because of his comments over homosexuality being a sin and some other things that he said. And A&E, suspended him for 10 days or whatever, but in effect didn't suspend him at all because he's, the show's been running and the show's planned to go on.
Power of grassroots, though. Look at that. They changed their mind, didn't they?
Yeah. What do you think about that?
Well, I think it illustrates first of all, what I think A&E was expecting is the typical kind of situation where we put somebody out there, we call them on the carpet, and so then they get their publicists together and they all have a press conference where they say, I apologize for what I said. I'll never say it again, and we've learned our lesson. And they didn't realize that Phil Robertson doesn't play that way, or maybe they thought that maybe he wouldn't back down, but his kids would throw him under the bus and say, well, this is sort of a Paula Deen moment. He was a little older, and that's what it was like in the Old South, and da-da-da-da-da-da. No, they didn't do that either, and so all of a sudden A&E's going, well, now what do we do? Well, in the meantime, we had encouraged people to write letters to A&E. We had a thing on our website. I know you did as well, and I just think they had a firestorm, and they said, I think we made a real big mistake, and we're about ready to trash the most profitable cable program in history over something that we don't really have that strong a conviction about. And so I think there is a good lesson there, the power of grassroots, and that's, of course, what you and your father, Tim, have understood for many years. There are a lot of people out here in America that disagree with what the people in the media want to do, and if we let people know what we really think, that silent majority no longer is silent, we can really make a positive impact.
Well, in this case, it did, didn't they, Ray? I mean, one
of the more humorous sidelights of that, Tim and Kerby, Cracker Barrel. They managed to inject themselves into that controversy.
That didn't take long, did it?
No, boy, they reversed field and started running away from that.
Oh, that's the most, Cracker Barrel.
That didn't even last 24 hours.
No, it didn't even last.
That was
Somebody
amazing.
at Cracker Barrel said, "Oh my word, we better take Duck Dynasty stuff off our shelves." And then the customer base of Cracker Barrel reminded them who they were. That they're the same type folks that watch Duck Dynasty, and it took Cracker Barrel 24 hours, I think, to say, "Whoa,
we want to stay in business here."
Yes, we have heard from you, and we have made a huge mistake, and back goes the Duck Dynasty product on. I just wonder what quote genius at Cracker Barrel corporate made this decision in the first place. To take Duck Dynasty stuff off the shelf. That was just
perhaps former genius by now.
Well,
who knows?
When I read that, like most people listening to us who read that, I was going, Cracker Barrel?
That's crazy.
Yeah, Cracker Barrel taking off.
Well,
Duck
the other
Dynasty
one, and I know we're getting tight on time.
Yeah.
But the other one is Ray and I are not far from the headquarters for J.C. Penney, and I know a little bit more about that because I know some of the people at J.C. Penney. But they got this one guy in here and he said, this is a family-oriented business, so let's do what we can to market to the homosexual community. And of course, that guy eventually didn't stay around too long either.
No, he was gone.
But you just realize how ideology trumps common sense and good business sense, and this is what's happened a couple of times. And that's why I think we just need to, as you have done for years at American Family Association, Tim, just give people the marching orders, let them go out there and express their opinion, and guess what? All of a sudden we have Christmas trees instead of holiday trees.
Right.
We have Duck Dynasty material and paraphernalia there at Cracker Barrel.
I do think Cracker Barrel.
We just need to do more of it.
Cracker Barrel recovered. I mean, they did the right thing quickly because had that thing going on a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they would have lost a lot of business because I heard people telling me, hey, if they wouldn't have done that, I was never going to go back in another Cracker Barrel as much as I like their food. So I think
Me too. I would have done the same.
Yeah, I know Cracker Barrel did the right thing by quickly apologizing and putting the Duck Dynasty product back on the shelves. Kerby, thanks for being our guest today. What website again would you refer people to?
Probe.org or pointofview.net. And we're looking forward to the next opportunity to talk with everybody.
Okay, Kerby Anderson, our guest this hour. Ray and I will be back after the news. We've got another guest, an American bride in Kabul, as in Kabul, Afghanistan. We're going to talk to Phyllis Chesler about this story. You don't want to miss that and other things coming up after the news. We'll see you back here in 5 minutes.